Wait for it. Engines rise. Is this going to be the start? We're racing at Karting Genk. Here we go. Now to the first corner. Good run from Lindblad. Round the outside. Kamara's holding it. Still holding it. Giving a decent line. Valtonen cuts through on the inside. And Valtonen into second place past Kamara. They're nice and clean. Valtonen there in second. We've got a spinner. One of the parallels has been spat out of the group at turn 4 and spins around backwards off the corner. So we've got an off at turn 4. I can't quite see who it is. It's the 152 that's gone around. Now that is the cart in the middle of the pack. It's Alfio Spina. So Alfio Spina has spun it away. We don't know whether there was contact to help him get there, but certainly Alfio Spina out of the race on the opening tour, and Lindblad and Valtonen have broken away early from Zhivnov in third.
Yeah, quite a disappointment end of the weekend. This first one with Parolin for young Alfio Spina, who didn't see that coming, unfortunately just happened outside of turn number 4. One lap completed, and Lindblad leading the way as he just did for the entirety of the weekend. But watch out for Jo Valtonen, and there comes Kamara around the inside. Beautifully made from the Brazilian, who lost a bit of positions into lap number 1, but he's back into third, getting ahead of Zhivnov into turn number 2. Beautifully made, and we have up to 0.3 of a second between Lindblad and Valtonen. Then we have Kamara, Zhivnov. 5th place for Eduardo Villa, who gained 4 positions in just 1 lap. Good job from the Xpree driver. He's followed by Ariel Elkin, Martin Stenzon, Luigi Coluccio, James Walton, Nicolas Solov. And where is our wild card, Bo Ayermans, unfortunately dropping all the way to 14 in the opening lap.
And that's the move from Eduardo Villa. He cuts through into 4th position. Eduardo Villa charging his way through to the top 5. I've been so impressed with him all weekend, and here he is now in P4.